Hi guys, welcome to Zen Zone Fantasy. We're back after a long week break. We are back with another episode. I've been doing TikTok live as well. So if you guys ever see me live, make sure to click on that profile picture and join the live. I ask answer start sit questions as well as trading, things like that. If you're not following, make sure you're following because I do break down all the information you guys are asking. Other than that, question of the day for this episode is, do you have a love in your life? Do you have a hobby in your life? Do you have something that brings a lot of joy to you where you're just filled with butterflies, filled with excitement? It's something that, it's a hobby, it's a love, whatever the answer is, drop it in the comments. I would have to say for my answers, I have a few. It's family, sports, my girlfriend, and music. All those together, it does make life a little bit easier to make and enjoy every day. First topic in this episode, we're going to talk about something that was not looked upon in last week's games from the Thursday all the way to Sunday, even Monday night game. Slept on games. These are games where we all fall asleep sometimes watching football, and it happens. And these were the games that were slept on, but we'll dig into the matchups and the stats that they provided us to give us better, looks at the future, or hopefully something that is in serious panic mode. So that's going to be our first topic. And then next we have our week 11 preview. So I think with that one being said, let's get into it. Okay guys, so slept on. This is the new topic I've been really excited to bring to you guys. So for the first game, it's going to be that Denver Broncos against the Oakland Raiders, that last Thursday night performance. Ashton Genty giving you 15.3 points. He saved you with a touchdown. If he continues to get touchdowns, I would say yes, he's a must start. Where people drafted him, I think that's why he's been in a lot of starting lineups. However, if he doesn't get a touchdown with only the last few weeks, he's only had one game over 10 points, which did not have a touchdown, like I said. So that's very scary for me. It's touchdown dependent running back. The offense is bad, and it was a bad game. Brock Bowers gave you that 43-point performance last week, and then comes in with the following week giving you 3.7 points with only 3 targets. Offense is bad, doesn't look good with the Oakland Raiders. Trey Tucker as well, Tyler Lockett, all these other people are getting Brock Bowers targets as well as Ashton Genty's targets in the passing game. So not too excited about that. We have Bo Nix, season low, 5.8 points. Was just a bad game for him. I think, he's been like this up and down every year. However, in the last 3 weeks, Bo hasn't surpassed 25 points, 36 rushing yards in total in the last 3. However, in the 3 before that, he was getting more than 36 yards per rushing game. So we expect more, Bo. We do. Give us some more. Show us you want to be there. Show us you really want to hold on to that AFC West division top spot, because you have the talent around you, you have the coaching around you. It's just been a hard time seeing Bo Nix in your starting lineups the last few weeks. Troy Franklin coming into the lineup of Denver Broncos, maybe being the number 1 receiver, stats say he is, with only, I believe, 4 targets more than Cortland Sutton. He's giving you 15 points last week. What will he give you this week? They play the Kansas City Chiefs. So for all my Denver Broncos people at Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin, J.K. Dobbins looks like he may miss a few weeks. R.J. Harvey, I don't think this is a good matchup. The Chiefs are on a roll. The defense is hot. It's going to be a bad game for the Broncos, where I think Patrick Mahomes is going to make a statement and say, no, the AFC West is still mine. However, J.K. Dobbins, like I said, J.K. Dobbins had a foot injury mid-third quarter, guys. And with a tweet going out from J.K. Dobbins, this seems to be something serious. This seems to be that he can miss potential time. I'm very nervous about that. If you have R.J. Harvey, though, you're in luck, because this is his time to shine. This is the guy that was riding your benches all week, all year, all season. You had 2 great games, so we like to see that. And with the running back room being So say low now with J.K. Dobbins injured. I believe Tyler Batty, or Bidet, excuse me, is the next one up right behind RJ Harvey. So I don't think we're going to see Bidet in the lineup too much. I think this is RJ Harvey's backfield while J.K. Dobbins is resting and healing up that foot injury. And once again, Courtland Sutton, guys, 5.4 points. He's an inconsistent wide receiver too for me. In most drafts, he's been declining week after week. This is his third straight game with 11 points or less. In ranking since week 6, wide receiver 44. That is bad for somebody that we were expecting to be a wide receiver too. We're looking at low production, hasn't had a 20% target share since week 5 as well. Troy Franklin is starting to move up into that wide receiver 1 position, where Courtland Sutton is slowly fading, just like Jackson Storm showed Lightning McQueen. We'll be right back with our next game. Next game will be Pittsburgh and the LA Chargers. Pittsburgh and LA Chargers giving you a score of total 35 points. If you hit the under, congratulations. Most of these games actually are when the bets were going under. So that's why they're slept on, because we fell asleep during these games. But 25-10, LA provides the W. Vidal will continue being a workhorse back, getting you a solid 18 points. It was nice to see him produce against a good run defense. And then we got Herbert and McConkey connection is looking live, guys. Looking live and jiving. They're staying on target. They're staying with the chemistry. They're going with the quick passes, as we predicted, with this LA Chargers offensive line being under par. All the injuries, what a bummer. But like I said, sneak peek lad is a must start, guys. I mean, he's going in as wide receiver 12 this week. I believe he's going to be consistent. He has the big play upside, as we saw game after game, getting you 58 yards after the catch or 48 yards after the catch. Touchdown consistency, last 3 games he's had a touchdown. So I'm very excited for Lad McConkey. Rodgers was a dud, but he has a nice matchup this week against the Bengals offense. I think he's a good waiver wire pickup. If you guys haven't picked him up yet, go ahead and pick him up. And Jaylen Warren is still producing for you guys. He's not giving you stellar numbers, but he's giving you enough in the flex and RB2 position to where hopefully you guys are winning your matchups. New Orleans versus Carolina, guys. So 17-7, once again, low under scoring game, but T-Mac is getting all the targets. He's averaging 12 yards per catch in a bad offense. I mean, it's just because the offense is bad that this guy isn't just producing massive numbers. Everybody else in the offense is producing 4 less targets, if you look at it. It's T-Mac and the Rico Dowdle show, I believe. Rico Dowdle as well. He's been here averaging more than 10 plus points in 9 out of the last 10 games, guys. So if you picked him up on the waiver wire, congratulations. Rico Dowdle has been a star for you. Tyler Chuckett and Olave are building confidence in fantasy managers as well, with the chemistry giving Olave 4 more targets. So he's kind of like T-Mac as well, getting a lot of the targets, a lot of the production in the wide receiver room. Olave's going to be a consistent must start for sure. Kamara is showing signs of life. The old running back is giving you a season high 22 carries and producing 115 all scrimmage yards. So looking like a classic Alvin Kamara game. We'll see if he continues to produce with Tyler Shuck at quarterback. He looks nice with him. They're building some type of chemistry together, just like he is with Olave. So it's nothing like, oh, must start, but definitely somebody you should keep on your benches. And the last game on the Sleptum topic is going to be Philadelphia versus Green Bay, 10-7. If you got the under, once again, congratulations, because these are all under the point totals in your betting. If you watch the game fully, please make sure to follow and subscribe, because I could have gave you a lot better information than this Philly and Green Bay game. We knew A.J. Brown was sad. A.J. Brown said on stream, if you have me, you should just drop me. I think he's kind of just joking, as we all picked him up as a wide receiver 1, those who drafted him. We knew the offense of the Eagles was bad, but both teams showed us they can't produce without the run. As you saw, Green Bay. Jacobs did decent for you. He got you some points. Saquon got you something, but Devontae Smith and Goddard were more so the heroes in the offense. But without the run, these guys look bad. Bad. wide receiver core, one goes for 15, 16 points. The other one goes for 2. We got A.J. Brown only receiving 2 targets, 1 catch for 13 yards. Very sad to see that. And then on the Green Bay side, we had Dontavian Wicks show that he was the target leader, 8 targets, 4 receptions, 38 yards. However, Christian Watson beat him with the long plays, 4 targets off of 2 catches and 45 yards. So everybody else chipped in, like I said, other than 45 being the highest total of a receiver, 30, 20. So it's, the ball's being spread around everywhere, guys. I think with this Green Bay offense, it's nothing to say that there's a number 1 wide receiver in this game anymore. And especially now that Tucker Kraft is out, he used to be the number 1 pass catcher in this offense. I'm sad to say, but it looks like the Green Bay Packers are going to be similar to the Buffalo Bills offense, where it's throwing the dart to see which receiver or who as a tight end will get the touchdown, will get you points. Hard to pick. Other than Josh Jacobs being a start, I believe that's it. Maybe the Green Bay Packers defense, but they're doing enough to keep the players or the offense in front of them. They're not getting you a lot of sacks or takeaways. It's not showing you like a Houston stellar defense. And then we got the Philadelphia Eagles, guys. Like I said, AJ only got the 3 targets, 2 catches. Other than that, we had Devontae Smith get the 7 targets, 69 yards in that big touchdown catch. And then Dallas Goedert was right behind him, 6 targets for the 43 yards. So other than that, guys, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, they stayed consistent. However, Dallas Goedert didn't get you that touchdown like he has in the last few games. So it's been a tough week if you had any of the Eagles offense other than Saquon Barkley. Besides the obvious from that, that's all we had from the game, guys. It was an offense, and it was a game for us as fans to really test us and see if we could watch the full game. And as myself, I didn't finish the full game. I watched bits and pieces because it was so boring. I almost fell asleep. I was tired. I was down to watch with my girlfriend some Vampire Diaries instead. So after this, guys, we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to get into our Week 11 preview coming right up. Okay, guys, so for our Week 11 preview, first topic is tough calls. These are players that you're going to have sweating fingers, clammy hands, deciding if you want in your starting lineup. First is going to be your Eagles wide receiver core. We have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown going against the Lions secondary that isn't really the best. However, if we look at their stats for their, so to say, passing yards, targets, all that stuff, Devontae Smith, 62 targets compared to A.J. Brown's 54. Dallas Goedert's right behind him with 45. So maybe somebody's going to have a big game. Like I said, it just is throwing a dart to see which wide receiver or Dallas Goedert is going to have a bigger game. Other than Saquon Barkley, guys, I'm really hesitant to start anybody in this wide receiver core. However, I will hint at A.J. Brown. Yes, he said to drop me, but I believe he's hinting in the opposite way. I think he could have a big game. I think you should feel good about A.J. Brown playing against this Lions defense, as he's the more bigger physical wide receiver. He should see more targets. One of the biggest tough calls has been Derrick Henry, guys, Mr. King Henry. However, we can't call him King Henry this season because he hasn't gotten past 20 fantasy points since week 1. He's only averaging a lackluster 14.5 fantasy points, and with Lamar Jackson coming back after the bye, only averaging and getting 12.2 fantasy points. Sad to say, but he's been somebody as a tough call for these fantasy lineups. However, they do face another defense in Cleveland that gives them even a tougher time getting and producing fantasy points. For this week, I think Derrick Henry, if you have somebody better, bench him. But if you don't, start him. It is what it is. I'm sorry, guys. These are the tough calls that put you in those times where if you have to, you have to. But however, King Henry has been not a king this week and this season. Mr. Slayer, Keenan Allen, congratulations. He got the 2 catches he needed to be the all-time Chargers receiver. Very excited for him. I've been watching him since he came into the league. I've always loved him as a player. Chargers fans, celebrate Keenan Allen because it's a big-time dub for Mr. Slayer. But this tough call is Keenan or Quentin Johnston. As we saw last week, Keenan only getting 2 catches and QJ getting 4 catches. The targets have been more leaning towards Quentin Johnston, but now we're looking at a shift since the offense has lost their offensive line. Keenan Allen is up there with 80 targets. Ladd McConkey, 80 targets. Quentin Johnston, 63. About 17 less targets to these two than last time we saw. Before week 1, week 2, week 3, it was the QJ show. Now it's a Ladd McConkey show. And I told people if we saw this offensive line crumble, we were going to see an uptick in Ladd McConkey's production. Right now, the targets rely on Keenan Allen. QJ get to the big plays, so that is a plus. If you're looking for a big boom or bust player, that's Mr. Quentin Johnston. If you're looking for maybe some consistency, hopefully some catches, better than the last game, Keenan Allen's your guy. I follow the targets, however, once this offensive line maybe gets a little bit fixed, we'll look at QJ being the starter instead of Keenan Allen, but the targets don't lie, guys. Okay, so Rachaad White, guys, another tough call for this week. He does have the Buffalo defense, which gave all those points to Devon Achane. So for that being said, I think he's a start this week. However, looking at the last games, over the last 3 weeks, he's been running back 38, running back 30, and running back 33. After that performance for week 6 against San Francisco, giving you a running back 12 ranking, he's been lackluster, guys. 5.4, 6.1, 4.4. I don't know what happened to Rachaad White. He had the chance to give you guys, when you picked him up off of waivers and saw the Bucky Irving injury, a chance to be somebody's lifesaver, somebody's lifeline. And he hasn't been that for the last few weeks. So I have Rachaad White as well. It's been a tough call, but for me, against the Buffalo's defense, I think he's a good start for this week. Next, we have Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, he could start this week. We've been saying that the last 7 weeks. He could start. Limited practice. Oh, no, he's not going to play. Now he's not going to play. Okay. Brock Purdy, I believe, is a drop. Mac Jones, yes, has been good, but with Brock Purdy maybe coming back to the offense, we don't know how he's going to perform. We don't know if he's going to re-injure his turf toe again. They've been taking it slowly, day by day, and right now, if you don't have a quarterback, yeah, go see if the waiver wires has him, because I believe when he went from being drafted all the way to this week, he's dropped 50% in amount of rostered percentage. So 50%, guys, if you see Brock Purdy on your waiver wires, he's a good pickup, but let's see what he can do. I don't think jump him into your starting lineups. Wait, see what the production is, then give it a shot. Next, we're going to have Bo Nix. I said it in the last topic, and Courtland Sutton. Both of these duos, they haven't done nothing for us, guys. Bo Nix is giving us quarterback 25, quarterback 14 last couple of weeks. He's playing Kansas City this week. I think he's a sit for me. I think Courtland Sutton is a sit for me this week as well. Not producing the way we expected it. He's been up and down. I mean, what more is there to say with Bo Nix and Courtland Sutton? And then Courtland Sutton getting less receiving targets than Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin's the #1 receiver right now. So I don't know what to do about this offense, but I'm not starting him this week against a good Kansas City defense. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a definitely tough call, tough game. Kansas City, I think they're going to show, like I said last time, who the AFC West belongs to. And right now, they're holding on by a thread, the Broncos, and I think the Chargers are slowly creeping up there. But with this next week, any Broncos you guys have, even RJ Harvey, I mean, keep him on your bench. Keep him on your bench because I expected it. A lot of us expected it. J.K. Dobbins going out with an injury mid-third quarter. We don't know, but we know it could be a long time. And since it's a grade 2, especially, I've been looking at researches of doctors, how they, talked about this injury. It's a lot more serious. You can't get that explosive power when you push off on that foot, because right here on the bottom of your foot, those tendons are injured. So J.K. Dobbins may be out for a few weeks, but RJ Harvey is a good start. Other than this, next week, he goes on a bye. Then he has a nice matchup against Washington. Then they're back at Vegas, and then they're back at Green Bay as well. So there are some tough matchups, but for the Washington game and the Las Vegas game, I think we have a better chance to see him producing some real RB numbers. Next up, guys, we're going to have our ride, don't sigh. Harvey is a ride, don't sigh, guys, because he's getting the opportunity possibly. The Broncos haven't told us officially yet if they're placing him on IR, J.K. Dobbins, if he's going to be out this week. We don't know. They were looking for a second opinion, but IR is considered. And like I said, with that tweet going out, it's very hard to tell if he's going to start this week or for the foreseeable future next couple of weeks. But RJ Harvey is in line to be somebody that you can use in your starting lineups because he gets the passing work, he gets the runs, he's one of those running backs we love to have, a pass catching back. People that are getting more than 2 targets in the receiving work, getting more than 7 carries in the rushing work. He showed us the potential getting running back 11 in week 9 and then running back 15 in week 4. So he has the potential to give you something when that time comes. So just ride with RJ Harvey. Ride with RJ Harvey. Omarion Hampton, he's been out since week 8, I believe, or week 6, something around there. Potentially coming back week 13 to the Chargers. Omarion Hampton, I believe, is a ride, don't sigh. He's been out, it's sad to say, but he's going to come back, guys. I believe he'll come back, and he's going to be able to give you the numbers he was giving you before the injury, those 20 points, those 26 points. Stuff like that is going to be in line when Hampton returns. And they have a nice lineup for the running backs. If you look at it, their rest of season rankings is in the top 15 for best strength of schedule for running backs. So very excited about that. Ride with Omarion Hampton. Bucky Irving as well is another ride, don't sigh. He's been out. We don't know how long he's going to be out. They say this week, and then they hold him out another week. Use Rashad White, use Sean Tucker in some of those deeper leagues that you have because they're starting to split the carries. But Bucky Irving, if he comes back, they have a running back rest of season strength schedule ranking 10th easiest. So that's a reason why you should ride Bucky Irving. Brock Bowers, back and forth, 43 points, 3 points. There's no wide receivers in this group other than Trey Tucker. Last game was a dud for him, those 3.5 points, but I believe he's in line for a bigger role, and they see it. The offense sees it. They're like, this is our best pass catcher, and we're not getting him the ball. We should be giving him those 40 points every game. Well, the offense is bad, and Chip Kelly fix it because Brock Bowers is a ride, don't sigh. I think they'll change it and get him more touches. Jackson Dart, sad to say he has that concussion. He's out this week, but it depends on the schedule. It depends if they get wins. It depends if they're gonna, hold him out for next season. In that case, he would be a premier quarterback to pick up for your next season draft, guys. Jackson Dart, with that rushing upside, I think he's one of the premier elite quarterbacks for fantasy football next season. But they're starting Jameis Winston this week. So for all the Giants pass catchers, stock up because Jameis Winston is like Joe Flacco. He just chucks it. So we're very excited about that. But Jackson Dart, I think we may see a switch at the helm. If he gets healthy, then maybe he'll play a few games, but I don't see it if it's a bad game that they're going to just put him back out there because they need to be safer with him. With Brian Daboll leaving, I think that's a plus for Jackson Dart in the sense of his health because Daniel Jones got injured a lot. Jackson Dart already coming in with a concussion. Brian Daboll needed to leave so the quarterbacks could stay in a much healthy and safer pocket or just rushing upside to where they're sliding instead of trying to fight for those yards and ended up with a concussion. All right, guys, so this is going to be the last topic. If you stayed with me, thank you for joining with us this episode, Zen Zone Fantasy. Make sure to follow, subscribe wherever you find me. I'm on TikTok, and I do TikTok live now. So if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments here, or if you find me on live, pop into the chat, say hello. I'm not here to ask you for coins, ask you for points. I'm just here to enjoy the engagement, and that's all we are, is engaging with you guys as a community, supporting each other through the fantasy football season, and we're here to help you. So with that being said, early MVP is going to be the obvious. Jonathan Taylor, guys. He's averaging almost 50 points last week, and he's going up and up in more of the carries, touches. The whole offense of the Colts revolves around Jonathan Taylor. 277 points total in fantasy football this season. The next person is CMC, Christian McCaffrey, with 248. There's no stopping Jonathan Taylor right now, guys. He's got a good lead on the MVP. He is my early MVP this season. Very excited to see what he can produce maybe next year. But I don't have him in the draft. That's why I say next year. But he's been smoking me every time I played against Jonathan Taylor. I've been those 50-point losers, you know, gotten him where he's getting you 50 points or 56, whatever the case is. But that doesn't take away the fact that Jonathan Taylor has been my MVP. Other than that, guys, this is going to end us for Zen Zone Fantasy.